and then he looked at me and he was like, "Do you have a harness?" And I was like, fully wardrobed up, no harness. And I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, well, we got to get you one." And I was like, "Am I gonna die on my first day here? What is about to happen?"
Welcome to Story and Craft. Now, here's your host, Mark Preston.
Okay, here we go. Back again, another episode of Story and Craft. Welcome back. So nice to have you here. And if you are new to Story and Craft, welcome. Glad to have you being part of the shindig we got going on here. Great conversation today, sitting down with actor Aaron Moten. You know him as Maximus on the Prime Video series Fallout. He was also in a Netflix show I really enjoyed with Kathy Bates called Disjointed. Just a cool conversation with a talented actor. Enjoyed it. And hey, do me a favor. Whatever you're using right now, we're on all the podcast platforms. And whatever you're listening on, whether it be Apple or Spotify or even YouTube, make sure to follow the show. Very importante. Very important because if you follow, you leave a comment, you like it, like the episode, helps people to find Story and Craft. If you would do that, I'd appreciate it greatly. And if you would like to learn more about any of our episodes or any of the past guests we've had on, just go to storyandcraftpod.com. Once again, storyandcraftpod.com. And don't forget, I love getting messages from you. Just reach out if you got a note about any of the episodes we've had on, question anything, just send me a note. You can do it through the website. Okay, so let's jump into it. Enjoy this conversation. Let's you and I celebrate today, Aaron Moten Day, right here on Story and Craft. Hi, Mr. Aaron. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm so good, Mark. You?
Fantastic. You know what? You can appreciate this. I don't do a lot of research, but I do just enough. I just had one of those big HEB tamales. I know y'all know all about HEB.
Yeah, you can't avoid it. It's effective.
Yeah, I even got I got my HEB water. It's got the whole thing. I'm down here on South Padre, so I know you were a hop, skip, and a jump up in Austin when you were growing up, right?
Hey, we used to go yearly as a family vacation down there. That mile bridge is pretty legendary, I guess, in my mind of my memories of childhood.
Yeah, when you're coming over that bridge, it's like you get the whole view of the island, and as a kid, I was the same way. I got excited when I could, get because I'm a Dallas kid originally, so.
Oh, okay, my brother's out there now.
Oh,
I miss Texas. My life and work won't seem to bring me back, but one day.
well, you got to get into a Taylor Sheridan program. That's because he's shooting everything down this way, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I'll be walking on a studio called Taylor Sheridan Studio by the time I get there.
hey, where are you located right now, by the way?
I just moved from Iceland to Los Angeles about a year and a half ago. So I'm a year and a half in my LA.
I saw you spent time in Iceland. That is awesome. I imagine it's far enough removed from everything where after you work on something, you can go hit reset pretty easily because it's just so different.
Man, yes. And I don't know if you've gotten the chance to hear more Icelandic music than just Bjork, but the music scene out there is incredible. And I always attribute it to the maybe the best blank canvas audibly that you can find is out there. It is nothing. You can get out into the countryside where you may not see another person for a week at a time. It's really fantastic to do that to your brain at least every once in a while, I think.
I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I got to remember what the psychological principle of it is, but if you stand on the beach and you look out the ocean, you see nothing. And the same thing if you're in a desert and you look out, it kind of does this kind of a reset for you, kind of gets you back to, I don't know,
Some
something
kind
more
of baseline,
elemental.
some kind of baseline. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So have you lived in LA before, or is this your first swing in LA?
No, I lived in LA before. I was doing this television show with Kathy Bates
Oh,
called
Disjointed. Yes.
Yes.
I love that show.
So,
You were her son, and the,
oh,
the, man, I tell you, but anyway, we'll get on that in a second. But no, you said you were out there doing that show, right?
yeah, we were doing that, and then it was that thing that I think a lot of LA actors experience in the last. I mean, this was 2 years before COVID, but where everything you booked out of LA seemed to really just be taking you outside of LA. so I think the next thing I did was in Chicago in the winter time, and we had our first daughter at that point, my wife and I. So I was kind of like, look, why don't you go to where your family is, where we have support, and I'll just meet you there. And it was kind of a temporary solution, to be honest, Iceland, to our where do we live problem, and then COVID hit, and it became a little bit more permanent for 5 years.
So when you were working in Chicago, they headed out to Iceland, is what you said, or
That's what happened. Yeah.
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 So that had to be a little rough for you. I mean, with all the, when you have a new kid and, you want to kind of soak up every moment with them and
Yeah, and it's kind of why we've all moved to LA. With Fallout moving to LA, we did do the FaceTime family thing from New York to Iceland whenever Fallout was shooting out there. But LA is a little too far. 9 hour time difference at some points, it just kind of felt like, well, let's just move the whole family so I don't have to experience what is it? Maybe the worst thing for anyone who's got kids would know this. It's like one of the worst things is my oldest had one of those like really major growth spurts as a kid where
oh yeah.
super thick and chunky and like a little ball, a little belly ball, and then I came home from Chicago and she had turned into like a spider monkey. I remember, showing up and she waited for me in the window and I, got in there and she wrapped her arms and legs around me and I picked her up and I was like, "What happened to you?" You know?
It never stops though. My oldest is 23 and I hadn't seen her in about a year and a half. She'd started
Uh-huh.
teaching school back in New Orleans, where, we lived for like 20 years. And she came to see me. I hadn't seen her like in a year and a half. And it's like you notice little differences. Sometimes only a parent will notice, but it's
Uh-huh.
still you realize when they're younger though, that happens like every couple weeks or
Every
every
couple
month
weeks.
you'll notice
That,
something. Yeah.
that major change, yeah.
Especially in parenting. You think you got it all down, you got it all figured out, and then the next day happens, there is a whole new psychological like growth, like a maturity dynamic you're working with, like, okay, we're starting all over on this. But
Yeah.
how many kids do you got?
I've got three. I've got 4, 5, and 8, all girls. But you're right. It's like that realm of stress as a parent. If it's like it doesn't shrink or grow in size, but it just sort of shifts to different things.
Now you're in LA. You did the time and I don't know, did your time. I sound like you were in prison, but no, you spent your time in Iceland. But for an Austin kid,
Uh,
you still got like a big tribe of family in Texas, or
oh
you have a
gosh,
small
yeah.
family, or
I think Texas is just too big. They can't get out. You drive 8 hours in one direction, you're still in Texas. Yeah, they're all there. Um, I mean, it keeps bringing me back for holidays. Everybody being there, but
Mhm.
but they've all everybody's sort of placed their roots there. My brother was going through a little bit of a job change. He's does the total opposite of me. He's in finance. I can't even explain to people what my brother does for creating
This is
programs.
the one up in Dallas?
Yeah, up in Dallas, that's a place to do that, to be in finance.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, my best friend was at Schwab and he works with high net worth people. And I'm like, I can't even understand. Like, I'll see like what's on his computer screen. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Yes. Yes, but it's a good person to call when you have like a simple person, a simpleton's understanding of a mortgage or a decision to make with finances, and he kind of bangs it out in about 5 minutes. Tell me what to do. It's like, oh,
So were you a theater kid growing up, when you were, or were you a sporting kind of a guy, or what was the upbringing like for you as far as what kept you busy?
I really, and I still am such a big sports fan. Love it, love it, love it.
Well, I
We
got, I
were,
got to ask you though. I got to ask you right in the middle: Rangers or Astros?
oh God. Maybe because of Bigelow, Astros. Like I've never really watched the Rangers. And yeah, I've just spent more time rooting for the Astros in my time. But I feel like all sports have started to change and shift for me in my age now. I don't really feel like I have, besides UT Austin.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have a team of any sport. I
By
root
the
for
way, but
players.
folks can't see this, but you just did hook 'em horns. It's like it's. I just had Rex Lynn on, and he was talking about this. He was a Texas guy, and his family moved up to Oklahoma, but he refused to stop wearing burnt orange. You
Oh,
know.
Probably got
But
plenty of action out there.
you were a big kind of a sports guy. But what were you doing the sports thing? Were you doing the theater when
Oh
you were
yeah,
in high
no, I
school?
was I was doing a lot of like when we got to like let's say like high school time, I was doing a lot of theater because it took me, what is it? That thing for boys, sometimes you develop a little bit later, where I was what? I feel like my eighth grade year, I was still 4'11". Ninth grade year, I
Hmm.
was maybe 5'6", and then I just incrementally made it up to 5'11". It's like it took my body so long to grow that I was still too awkward. I was still too incapable of even caring about living in the weight room. I also, but I was so short. I loved basketball at that point. But being that size, I kept being pressured to play point guard. I would have loved if I could have played any other position besides running the offense. It just felt like way too much pressure, way too much skill involved in like getting handling and understanding how to, keep your head up while somebody's, reaching for the ball. It's
Oh no, I couldn't remember plays. Like plays to me, or I don't know. I never quite got my head around like
yeah, what is this
plays. I
flex? What is this flex?
I felt like I was in a remedial football program or something. But no, not fortunately, I guess fortunately, I hurt my knee. Nothing big.
Uh-huh.
I would call subluxated my patella, which is basically momentarily dislocated my kneecap, which hurts as much as it sounds.
Yeah.
And then I went to the doctor. Doctor says, "Oh, we can do this quick procedures called lateral release, or back to playing football." It's like, do I have to have this procedure done? He's like, well, if you want to play football, I recommend it. He's like, well, I'm not that good. He's like, well, don't worry about it. So what were your folks up to? What were they creative as well, or were they in a whole different ecosystem?
Oh, well, creative in their way, yes. I mean, like what? Maybe the best compliment I think somebody ever gave me when I was in college was that they asked me if my parents were actors because they felt like I acted like I was part of a lineage of actors or so. I kind of loved that, but no, my father was a municipal court judge and a lawyer, and my mother is a court stenographer. Um, so so yeah, I mean honestly, that's what I thought I would be doing. I thought I was going to law school. I think mock trial was maybe the first time of my life that I playing a lawyer. I looked at the people playing witnesses, and I was like, yeah, I think that's more fun. It was the whole thing is pretend, but to look at the people who get to play a different person. You know what I mean? I felt like I was being myself and just trying to catch them in a lie and understand the rules of like a courtroom and how that operates. But I
Yeah.
was like, this isn't nearly as fun as the guy that gets to get up there and be like, no, I didn't have a drink.
You know what? You know the fun part is being in a. I actually enjoy being on a jury. I felt like they're putting on a show for me,
See,
Yeah, which
you
kind of they
show you
are.
show you show with your popcorn, a little
Yeah,
snack.
I should have. It was you just watch everybody posturing, and there's bad acting that happens. I think every attorney probably should take an acting class of some
Oh,
sort.
definitely, definitely.
So did your folks have any kind of guidance or influence on you, like, hey, this acting thing, run with it, or let's be practical and do something which has a business card associated with it?
You know, maybe. Maybe the most one of the reasons I think it was fortunate for me to get accepted into Juilliard. I mean, I think I got accepted right, like the day I turned 18 is what it kind of felt like. But I remember waking my mother up about even just going out to New York to visit Juilliard whenever they were considering accepting me. And she was like, "Well, New York, Aaron, that's really far away." And I think I said to her, "Well, Mom, it's Juilliard." The institution sort of had a name that allowed them to sort of say to themselves, I think of like, I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see
Yeah,
that. You're the
yeah.
third Juilliard kid I've had on. I've had they Reed Diamond, Michael Beach, I think, with the
Okay.
Juilliard.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're
Yeah.
the third Juilliard grad. So,
Here we go,
um,
Mark. Here we go,
s-
Mark. Many more to come.
yeah, yeah. Hey, and more Texans. See, I would imagine, that you got to go there. You're doing a thing and you're good at it, you have to audition, right? You've got to be able to demonstrate you can do the thing. So when you get there, are you feeling the nerves like, oh, I've got to deliver on this kind of like subjective talent thing that I got going on, or what was that vibe like?
Oh, no, I don't. You know what? Gosh, I had just like such a great group. I just remember everything that dealt with the classroom and work was just grueling. It's really challenging to develop new skills. It's not really about nurturing your the it is. It's about giving you more technical talents. I think being at that institution, I think it's more about that. It's like yes, you've got this thing that you can do. You can always lean on that thing. You can always do your thing, but like, what do you do when that thing doesn't work? How do
So
you?
you're developing those tools like that, you can fall back on if you need them. And
Yeah, that is really what it is. But my classmates are Danielle Brooks and Corey Hawkins and Jakina Calicango, Cameron Scoggins, who's going to be doing this great new Crystal Lake show over in New York City. It's a plethora of people that Justine Loop, people that a lot of us are seeing on TV and movies these days. I just felt really, really fortunate to be in that group. I felt like we had something really special. Uh, Something that isn't as uncommon as it is to get into Juilliard. I feel like even more uncommon is to have a really special group of people. I think about them all daily.
were you during your time at Juilliard angling towards like I want to do Broadway or you want to do film or is it just like wherever you can do the thing? Where were you putting the target?
Yeah, I was putting the target on theater, purely theater. I thought I was going to be a martyr for the theater. I thought thought I would starve just to walk across the boards every night. I think I just found Mark that I was doing this play. It was Annie Baker's play, and it kind of started my whole career. This play called The Flick,
Mhm.
and I kind of just found that my whole life was revolving around playing this person, and this person had a bit of a stormy cloud over their head, for lack of a, for to be sort of quick about it. But it was really work affects you, it
Yeah.
really affects you. And my wife and I, at the time, we didn't have any kids when we were doing that play out in New York, and I don't know, we just kind of had this come to Jesus moment about it, where we were just like, I don't think we can support a family. But I honestly didn't really know other than, okay, well, maybe I'll take these auditions for TV and film roles a little more seriously and really hope for the best to come out of those. I kind of just decided to get a little bit more obsessed with cameras because I didn't really know how to translate what I did on a stage to
Like the different millimeter like type
focal
camera
lengths,
or
focal lengths. Yeah, yeah, to understand what, it's there's so many different things technically that I think that theater actors need to learn about working on a camera, like not blowing things in the wide. I've shared stories of like, it's like your first job where you're doing, whether it's like a Law and Order, it's a little day
yeah.
player thing in New York City, and they hire you because you're the person who like was able to get emotional in the audition or something like that, and you get to set, and it's take one and you're trying to go for it. And then you realize after like a full day of filming the scene that like, oh, we haven't even gotten the close up yet. That was all.
Yeah.
So, none of the tears are gonna even make it onto the screen. You're just like, oh, so now we're in the close up and I'm exhausted. I can't do this even if I if I
Yeah, it's
tried.
funny. I remember hearing an interview with Kevin Smith talking about directing Bruce Willis, and I think Bruce Willis asked him what lens he was using, and
Uh,
Kevin Smith is like, I don't know, because it
yeah,
really hadn't, kind of registered that that was a thing, and it affects the actor, like you said, like if you're not close up on me, it gives me information on how.
yeah, yeah.
Now, so do you consider yourself kind of a what would the technical term be? Like a techno, like the film technology, does that intrigue you, or is it just that one aspect of,
Yeah, no,
shooting?
film technology definitely intrigues me. To know that even film houses, like people that are building and creating lenses, are often doing it at the behest of ex director directing a studio feature because we need to shoot the whole movie in low light and we need a certain focal length that has like a quick fast aperture so that we can
Yeah.
light it with lanterns. It's really remarkable to me, and it is it's the future is always like creating a problem and then going to technology to try and solve it, create something new to
Yeah, but
solve
cinematographers and DPs, the really legendary ones. I can't remember his name, a fellow from Budapest.
it.
I think Spielberg used them. May have been on Close Encounters. But you start reckoning not to geek out, but sometimes when you know which cinematographer did it, and you see another film, you go like, oh, I see. There's a style happening there.
Mhm.
It is kind of fun to kind of nerd out on that a little bit. But
It
like when you
is.
did Disjointed, that's different because that was multicam
But
show,
actually,
wasn't it?
Mark, I think I learned the most about cameras from that show because, especially when it comes to focal lengths, I learned how to guess a focal length based off of what we've said our coverage of the day will be, based off of
Hmm.
how far away the camera is from me or not from that show. Because, uh, and nobody would see this, but like if I open my arms to express what I think I should be expressed in this moment, I had to learn that the camera that had the wide was over here, so I needed to turn toward that camera when doing it, or else they can't use it. My face is blocked from it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and if that is happening, if I'm opening my arms, I can do that because the camera that's on the other side of me that has my close, uh, they wouldn't see that. It would just be my arms cut off in the frame. It would, it'd be totally pointless as to trying to communicate what, the character's going through in that moment or what the
Yeah, it
story.
reminds me of that Michael Caine acting on film, that little book I think everybody's read, or that it came off of a BBC video where he talks about how he said, "Don't be physically like you are in a wide shot when you're on the tight shot because you're gonna look like you're losing your mind."
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it was such a subtle little thing. I was like, I never would have thought of that. So
No,
um,
I mean, I think it's about, I mean, one of the biggest differences is that if things are working properly, I think on a production, you understand the conversation that the camera department is having. I almost feel like in my mind, I put the camera department ahead of actors. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like if I'm not paying attention to their conversation, then I don't know what to do because I don't then know uh, what part of the story we're telling. Like, it all needs to go into camera. The truth has to go into the camera, right? Yeah, it does. It feels like if like that would be the first question I'd have. It's like, well, where are we starting? I see camera here. Uh, so this is the two shot of us. Okay. And
plus it
you
helps you understand like how important it is to hit the mark, or you're gonna walk right through the focus and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, especially like what T stop are we on is usually my question these days because it's not something you could just know without asking or looking at the lens. But if we're in a shallow depth of field, I know that we've got a focus puller who from one line to another line is pulling the focus, right? It's different than us being stopped down and everything is in clear focus, where
Hmm.
I could cut the other actor off if I needed to. I could just say my line when I feel, when however the scene is playing out is going to be different based off of that. Whether I know that there needs to be a little bit of time from one line to another because the focus pull takes some time.
Yeah, and the Fallout though, they have some pretty big cinematic shots, like the exterior shots. It's funny, but actually, real quick before I get to that, I got to go
Yeah.
back real because I Disjointed was such a cool little show, man. Kathy Bates for me that like I don't know how many things she's done where she's had kids, but you got a chance to play Kathy Bates' son. I got
Yeah.
to check in on that.
Yeah.
And any fun feedback from working in a dispensary with Kathy Bates.
It was a really good time. I mean, that show is really special. I think ultimately I mean, the main reason why that show I think isn't still happening is mostly about I think putting animators on a schedule is very expensive. We had
Hmm.
the animation in each episode. That becomes really expensive. It's one thing to ask an animator to, create something, but it's another thing to put them on a schedule. It means that the work has to be done by a certain cutoff date, and I think that just became expensive. But Kathy is, um, for lack of a better word, Kathy's a beast. She's she was going through a lot of different things, ups and downs in her own personal life and dealing with her health. And at the same time, like that woman was never late. That
Hmm.
woman would also defend me for choices that I was trying to make with things and really made me. She became an advocate for me to have a voice because I think I mean, she knew what being number one on the call sheet was. I didn't know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
number two on the call sheet was at that time. You know what I mean? I didn't know what that would
I
feel like.
mean, number one, yeah, I heard, I think it was Tom Hanks said it. It's something like you put the production on your shoulders and you're the one ultimately carrying it, because you're setting a tone in a way, So that's really good that she took that opportunity with you. And I got to say that I don't know her name, but Chris Red but his girlfriend in the show,
Betsy Sidara. Yeah.
their interactions are just so ridiculously awesome. It's just I know it was a fun show to watch. It was just different. If I'm not mistaken, weren't you like you have like a business degree or something like that? Or you were like you're the business mind of the dispensary, right?
Yeah, he had just graduated with an MBA, like a master's in business, and was coming to help his mom run this dispensary. And that's why he would have the bright idea to bring Dank and Dabby in and have them just advertise for the
They're,
shop.
they're, they're your they're your branding pieces. They're your marketing. Yeah.
My
Um,
marketing.
Actually, with Fallout, I've only gotten one episode in. That's my case. My son is in New Orleans also, so that's a show he watches when he comes to town. We'll
Okay.
sit down. We have our shows we watch.
Yeah.
Like my daughter has a show, so we like catch up, like power watch all through the way through. But I tell you, the tone of the show, it's just interesting to me. And I know it's based off a video game, and that's more my son's domain. Did you have any kind of the lore or the background or the story or anything about Fallout prior to getting jumping into it?
No, no, I would have recognized the poster. Um, or I would have recognized the suit, the helmet, the big uh power armor suit. I would have recognized it, but I had not delved into the games. I still haven't beyond that. I do a lot of research of watching other people play or talk about the games. I mean, YouTube and Twitch are an incredible resource to an actor, who's going to do a video game
Yeah,
adaptation.
yeah. I don't even know what the suit was called that you had to have on, but that was like, I don't know. There's this Odyssey you're on. I don't know. It's almost I don't say Shakespearean. I don't know. There's kind of like you're on your own journey, And have you had? I can't remember. Have you had any scenes with Walton Goggins? I don't.
I have now in the second season we've worked together
Oh,
now.
okay.
In our first season, it was always with the suit that I worked with him. So not a real like scene, no dialogue
Hmm.
or anything, nothing. I will say not real. I mean, we spoke, but I'm speaking through the suits
Right, right, right.
system. You know what I mean?
But that's kind of fun though. Was there like a 13-year-old version of you that was like, this is awesome? You
Yeah.
know?
Yes, I mean, mostly because of just a lot of jobs I've done haven't I've never had the opportunity really to be this physical, to be doing stunt work and to be on wires and to be, um, it's just so fun. I think my first day was Jonah Nolan walking me to the Vertibird helicopter setup and Jonah really particularly likes giving actors like their toughest day first.
Really?
Yeah, he's made some comments about like it's not like he gets I think he gets secret joy out of it, but he'll pass it off as like, it's sometimes good to just like let people jump into the deep end, and then
Like
the rest of
baptism
the
by
stuff.
fire kind of a
Baptism
thing.
by fire a little bit, yeah, because it did. It sort of set the tone for, what this whole show has been for me. But he walked me to the set and explained what I was going to do on action, and the helicopter's going to be taking off, and I got to jump in, throw this big heavy bag inside, and then he looked at me and he was like, "Do you have a harness?" And I was like, fully wardrobed up, no harness. And I was like, no. He's like, oh, well, we got to get you one. And I was like, turning around frantically, just like, oh my God, is, am I gonna die on my first day here? What is about to happen?
So has your oldest daughter has she seen you? Has she had any feedback on dad wearing a suit doing crazy stuff?
Okay, well, they make these action figures and all kinds of there's all this memorabilia. There's so many things that have been made from the shows now. So like I've been gifted a lot of action figures. So my daughter has one but it's I can't let her watch the show yet. Maybe when she's,
Yeah, yeah. You would have to be selective and on a scene by scene basis. Yeah.
yeah. But that action figure of me gets played with just like the Barbies get played with.
What's that like to have your own action figure? I was a kid who grew up Star Wars, the action figures, and just thinking,
Yeah.
wow, that you did a thing where they made an action figure out of it. What's that like?
No, that is that I mean that it is surreal. I don't know that the pin or I don't know that it's ever dropped on the other side of it because I know it's a real thing, but it is. I grew up with tons of like I had the big chest of action figures, you know what I mean? It was like my brother and I would just like dump the whole chest out, and start playing with everything at the same time. It's really it's really out there. I never thought it was going to happen. I feel like I remember reading some subsection of my contract and it mentioned action figures or your likeness being used. And I remember just kind of thinking like, nah, no, no, that's this can't be real.
Have you played with your own action figure yet? Have you kind of like, set up a scene and, I'm going to do it this way,
Yeah, that'd be really great. Okay, so camera's here.
Yeah, I was about to say you're in the technical. You can set up the scene with an action figure of you. That
Yeah,
seems like a lot of fun.
I'm gonna start bringing my action figure to set and
Yeah,
show them my rehearsal with the action figure. So I'm walking here, right?
shoot it with your iPhone. Just kind of like, okay, I got the
Yeah,
whole setup. I blocked this thing, so this is what I
yeah.
want.
This is what I want.
Where were they shooting it originally? Were they shooting in like Atlanta,
No, New York.
New York? Oh, they were shooting Fallout in New York?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And then so most of our exteriors were shot in Namibia. It's like Southwest Africa. The cinematic, very extremely cinematic shot of the Santa Monica Pier when
Yeah,
the Lucy character first comes out of the vault. That's Namibia. And
really.
the only thing that was added was I think the little decrepit Ferris wheel on the side there. But it's amazing. Desert meets the ocean out there in Namibia, and it really looks like it could be Santa Monica if a bomb had hit it.
That is wild. Yeah, the visuals in that show are just, especially the way all the characters are shot. And there, it seems, especially with Walton Goggins, I mean, all of y'all have kind of created your own thing. And then, like I said, I didn't know what I was going to think when I was like, okay, first blush, it was a video game. Now it's a show. All right, what are we going to do here?
Yeah.
And I was in it immediately.
Yeah.
It really has you thinking, what if? And kind of, which is, kind of like what would happen in this scenario.
Yes. Well,
Especially when you go, this could never happen. And then you look at our current like political makeup and you go, yeah, some of those kind of people that have nefarious intent. Yeah, they're out there,
yeah. No, they are. And I do feel like the thing that feels healthy to me is I like going there in my mind because it makes me feel like, oh well, if I go there in my mind, maybe I'm protecting myself from it happening for real, like as many parallels that I wish that didn't exist between this show and the world that we live in because it is very different. But it makes me hope that it doesn't happen. It's like let me think about getting in a car accident before I drive the car so that I don't get in a car accident. Uh, and I make it to my destination safely.
Yeah, all the episodes are out. Season 2, all the episodes are out now, right? They've all been
Mhm.
released. Okay,
Yeah.
so has there been talk season 3? Has it been locked in? Do y'all
Oh
know?
yeah. We're locked in. We start in about a week.
Wow, you're about to jump
Yeah.
right back in it, man. All
Yeah,
right,
we're about to
awesome.
get back in it.
Well, what else do you have working right now? I mean, do you have any? I mean, or is this kind of occupying all your bandwidth, or do you have
Uh,
anything else going on?
no, I mean, I took some time to do a couple of different films. I shot one in New York. with Asa Gurman and Blaise Behan directing, and called Callback. And then we shot one out here. I think the name is going to be Night Watching with Mila Kunis and Corey Hawkins, one of my Juilliard
Oh,
classmates,
okay, okay.
which was really fun.
Well,
Really
yeah,
had
I
a
saw
good
Night
time.
Watch. Isn't that also with what's his name? Starts with a C. Mr. Crab from SpongeBob. What's his what, Clancy? In Clancy, is that the project he's
Clancy,
in?
Clancy Brown, yes.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. Good. Good.
but Clancy, okay, Clancy is also in Fallout season two.
Oh, he is. Oh, okay. I'm
Yes.
looking. Okay.
And
He
the
is. He
oh,
is great. He is great. I've just saw him in something with McKenna Grace and where he played her boyfriend's grandfather or something. But he's great. But yeah. But for me, having my kids my age, he's Mr. Crab. So.
yes, and he he's really fun guy. He's really I like guys that are calm. I'm pretty calm on set.
Yeah.
Some people have like a lot of energy and maybe they like go up and down with it. He's pretty even keel. I kind of like that.
Before we get going, I always have what I call my 7 questions. I always kind of put them on the back end. A little
Okay.
fun. Always talk food at least once. So we started off talking about my HEB tamale, but the first question I ask is, what is your favorite comfort food? Great day, you want it, makes it better. Bad day, just kind of softens the rough edges. What would that be for you?
It's got to be pizza. Whether you're making it yourself and firing it outside or ordering it from Domino's, I wouldn't care. It's such a comfort food to me. Pizza is usually my go-to. Bad day, good day.
Yeah. What's the number one ingredient you got on there?
I actually, you know what? The number one ingredient has to be the tomato sauce and cheese. I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of, white sauce or I need that basic, and then I'll do anything on top of
Yeah,
it.
my youngest daughter and I are both into extra sauce. I'm a big fan of like good local pizza joint. You go in there and you smell it like, oh, this is going to be good pizza.
Oh,
Now, the
yeah.
next question I got for you is if you're going to be sitting down talking story for a few hours, having coffee. Now, living or not, or who would those three people be you would like to be sitting down with? So the four of y'all sitting down just all afternoon over coffee, just collaborating, talking. Who would those people be?
Oh man, give me Kubrick. Give me why not Shakespeare? Give me uh I'm gonna be real about this one. Jonathan Nolan. Give me Jonah. Add him to that conversation. Uh and it really is about like,
That would be a master class right there.
oh God, yeah. Um and who else? Living or not. I did know Phil briefly before he passed away. So let's add Philip Seymour in there. Let's
Uh,
put
I
Phil
just
in.
I just saw him last night. I was watching Along Came Polly just for the heck of it. That movie he was in with
Rain Man.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the thing with him is like, man, we gotta leave the party, man. Why? Why? I just
It's
sharted.
dark. I just heard it.
He there was nothing he couldn't do. One of my favorites though was it was called Pirate Radio. It was about the guys they were off in England. They had the ship off the coast broadcasting a rock thing. Everything he did, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really terrific. And honestly, one of like the sweetest uh men I've ever met. You know, a big friendly guy. Really a good hugger. Like loved him. Good
I'm
listener. Really great. Like you would always want to hang out with Phil. Like you hung out with him one time, you would probably always want to hang out with him.
It seems like the kind of guy who just enjoyed hanging out with actors and, his tribe, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Now, next question I got for you. Celebrity crush when you were a kid. Who was that celebrity crush? Your first one?
Oh man. I don't know. There's so many. Gosh. Penelope Cruz was up there. I remember Cameron Diaz in The Mask. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's gotta be like, I'm trying to look for that like mid 90s flavor because like that's really when I would have, mid to late 90s. But Kirsten Dunst, I remember Jumanji was like really big to me. Obviously like Robin Williams was in so many of those kids' movies, but I remember Kirsten Dunst so
Yeah, yeah.
vividly from Jumanji. But maybe it was because I was just like, I need to be looked after by a big sister. I only had a little sister. My
Yeah.
my older brother would just beat me up. Maybe one of those.
Very good. Very good. Now, if I say you're going to be living on an exotic island for a year, it's somewhere you
Uh-huh.
want to be. It's there, something very cool. Now, you don't have streaming though. So if you want to watch a movie, you got to bring one DVD. And if you want to listen to music, you got to bring one CD, or I'll give you a box set. What would that DVD be that you could watch over and over? And what would that CD be that you can listen to all year long?
Oh man. DVD. Okay, I feel like I'm slightly cheating here, but the DVD is gonna be it's gonna be season two of the US version of The Office.
Okay.
It's like the best like palate cleanser. If I had a good day or a bad day, I could find something that I would enjoy watching. And I think the record is gonna easily be In Rainbow's Radiohead.
I like that when somebody knows exactly what that CD is going
Oh
to be.
yeah, that's
Um,
I feel like that's what I do whenever I have to go to a hotel alone, is like that first shower in a hotel room is In Rainbows playing.
Very good. Now, if you're to say, next question, definition, perfect day. If you said the recipe for my perfect day would be these ingredients, what would that be for you?
No work, like nothing to do, nothing scheduled. Sleep in. My kids outside with a pool and a grill. Uh, and then I need like a nice like Pouligny Montrachet, like a or a Merceau, like a white Burgundy that I've got like two bottles of the same thing.
You know, isn't it nice when you're grilling? People think it's a beer, but a glass of wine is civilized, you
Oh,
know?
there's nothing like a little sugar, nothing like a little.
Exactly. Well, last couple questions I got for you real quick. If you weren't doing this, somebody said, "Hey, Aaron, acting not going to happen for you anymore." What would be career or vocation number two?
If I have to get out of the industry entirely,
Hmm.
uh, I could be a fisherman. I could get down with that.
I think Jimmy Buffett lifestyle out on a boat probably would work fine for me as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Now, the
sure.
last question I got for you, if you're going to jump in that DeLorean and you can travel back to when you're 16 years old, you got a piece of advice that you can offer yourself to make that moment better or maybe put yourself on a little different track. What would advice to 16-year-old you be?
I think I'd just be like, just keep saying yes, but keep being careful. You know, keep saying yes, but keep being careful. There is a that thing that like there's some things that I think as kids we say no to out of well, what am I trying to say? It's like we don't be afraid. I don't know. It's so tough, but like. Uh, I think we were all I think so worried at 16 as to
Mhm.
like what was going to happen. I feel like it's that time that you really start thinking about your life and what's going to happen, and you know what I mean? I feel like a 16-year-old boy can already start relating to The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman. You know what I mean? It just you really are worried.
Exactly.
People are constantly saying things to you. It's like, you know what? Just don't be afraid.
Kind of trust yourself. Yeah.
Trust
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Now, man, I appreciate you spending some time with me today. This has been awesome. I appreciate talking to a fellow Texan. I've been very fortunate. I've had a few past episodes recently where I've had an opportunity to connect. And, next time you're down in Austin, go to, Franklin Barbecue, get a bite for me while you're down there.
Hey,
But
I will. I will.
okay, there you go. Aaron Moten, cool dude. Enjoyed this conversation. You can catch him right now. Season 2, which is out, Amazon Prime's Fallout. Make sure to jump on, check it out. Jazzed Season 3 is going to happen. Also, if you haven't seen it already, dial up Netflix, fun comedy. The one we discussed with Kathy Bates, it is called Disjointed. Really enjoyed sitting down with Aaron. Really enjoyed chatting with everybody we have on. It's always a fun day for me, and I hope it is for you as well. And make sure to do me a small favor. Make sure to follow the show. Follow Story and Craft. No matter what podcast app you use, follow, like the show, leave a comment. It does help people to find and enjoy the jocularity and mischief we have going on here. And also you can go to storyandcraftpod.com. Once again, storyandcraftpod.com. Everything about the show, past guests, past episodes, it's all right there. You can also send me a message if you'd like. Love hearing from you. And I do appreciate it. And as I always say, thank you very much. It does mean a lot to me that you make what I got going on here part of whatever you've got going on. And I do look forward to connecting with you very shortly, just a couple days away, right here again for another fun conversation on Story and Craft.
That's it for this episode of Story and Craft. Join Mark next week for more conversation right here on Story and Craft. Story and Craft is a presentation of Mark Preston Productions, LLC. Executive producer is Mark Preston. Associate producer is Zachary Holden. Please rate and review Story and Craft on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. You can subscribe to show updates and stay in the know. Just head to storyandcraftpod.com and sign up for the newsletter. I'm Emma Dillon. See you next time, and remember, keep telling your story. Come on.